Hello everyone and welcome to my Thailand vlog. I got to spend just over a week in this beautiful country and I'm so excited to share my adventure with you. Alright, so it is my first full day here in Bangkok in Thailand, and I am going on a pretty extensive day tour looking at a bunch of temples and floating markets and railways outside of the city, and so I'm really excited. It's going to be a busy day. Let's go check it out. So the first part of this tour included a train ride, which was so cool, and there were so many other tourists doing this, which was so fun. I got to meet a lot of people on the train ride, and you got to see a lot of the Thai countryside just outside of Bangkok and some of the more rural areas, which I just really enjoy. It was lovely to get a breath of fresh air on this train ride. I loved it.
I think I got put in timeout just in like my back little corner of the train, all alone.
So yes, I actually did get put at the very back of the train, which was so bizarre, but it gave me an amazing view that I think a lot of people would have wanted, and so I'm just so grateful that I got a chance to sit at the back of the train. And also my favorite part was getting to see all of the tourists rush out to take a picture of the train. It was hilarious. So before long, we were out and walking through the market, got some food, and I think markets are one of my favorite things while traveling. I think you just get to meet a lot of different cultures and people and get to know a lot about the place that you're visiting. I love going to the market. So before long, I was on the tourist side of the train and got to watch it come through, which was so cool. The train itself is beautiful. It was very touristy, but I loved it. Then after the train came through, my guide was whisking me away to the next spot, and this was a really unique tour because it was solo, and so I got to spend a lot of one-on-one time with the driver and the tour guide, try some food. It was a very personalized experience, which I really appreciated. So our next stop was at a really beautiful temple and kind of archaeological or historical site, and then we were being whisked away again to the floating market, which was such a unique and crazy experience. It reminded me of Venice a little bit with a gondola ride, but on this kind of a tour, you actually buy stuff from the boats, you can get food. It is the most crazy and chaotic experience. I highly recommend doing it if you're in Bangkok. Then after a quick boat ride, we were actually walking through the physical market part of it as well, and I got some mango and rice, which is so good. I absolutely loved it. And then we were driving to probably my favorite site that I saw in Thailand at all, which was Wat Samphan, which is the dragon temple, which is, oh my gosh, it was just so cool. As a person who loves fantasy novels and shows, this place was just a dream come true. It was absolutely magical, and I could not recommend it enough. It's just very difficult to get to without a tour, so keep that in mind if you're visiting, but definitely should make the bucket list. Another thing that is so sweet to note is that there's this little spot here where you can throw coins in, and there were some Thai women that gave me some coins to wish in, and so I actually got to throw it in. Didn't make anything, but that's okay. And then we actually walked up to the top of the temple, which there is an elevator you have to pay for to get up to the top, and then you can walk down actually through the body, which is super cool. But the views from the top were just absolutely beautiful. I loved it. So here's us actually walking through the body all the way back down to the bottom. Then we got to eat some quick lunch before I was driven back to Bangkok. Okay, so it is the second full day of my time here in Bangkok in Thailand, and I have another day tour today going to a historical site. I'm very excited, so let's go check it out. Now, this day tour consisted with one other person, and we did so much temple hopping in this ancient city of Atutea, and I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. But all of these temples were so unique and beautiful in their own right. The artwork was amazing. We actually got to see some restoration in process, which was really, really special. And just the entire ambiance of the culture, the Thai culture is just beautiful and elegant and classy, and I just absolutely loved it. It was very picturesque. Now, the city of Atutea, it consists of many, many different temples, but this is probably the most famous one. There's so many of these kind of cone-like structures that have a great significance in the Thai culture and Buddhist culture. It was just really beautiful. There can be gold seen everywhere. The entire area is just unbelievably beautiful. And you were actually able to hike up into one of them, which was quite a few stairs, but once you're at the top, you can do monetary offerings and throw them down this well, and then you get a really good view of the surrounding archaeological site. Like I said, it's just really breathtaking and an incredible experience. I'm so grateful to have visited. There were so many different ruins we visited, and we got to see the infamous Buddha head in the tree, and walk around so many different sites. I will say, if you're going during the rainy season, or even in the summer, it's a great idea to bring an umbrella just because the heat can really get to you. We quickly stopped for lunch, had some pad thai, and then we were off seeing the last few sites before we headed back into Bangkok. Once we got back to Bangkok, me and my new friend that I made on the tour actually went through Chinatown, which was such an interesting and unique experience. I really enjoyed this kind of subset of a culture there in the city center, and then we went and looked at some of the temples that are actually in the Bangkok city center, which were unbelievably beautiful. And then another good thing to note when visiting the temples in Thailand is that oftentimes you do need to take off your shoes, so be prepared to do that, and you need to pay in cash. And so a lot of times they do have ATMs if you need them, but it's a great idea to come prepared with 50, 100 baht currencies to help you have an amazing day. After walking around some of the temples, we did a little bit of shopping, looked at some of the markets, and then I took the tram home back to my hotel and called it a night.
Okay, so I'm staying at the Lux Hotel here in Bangkok, and when I arrived last night, I was so tired, so cranky that when I came into the room, I didn't dispute anything, but the smell in here is so bad. It's moldy. I took some pictures, there's mold places, and so I was really, really disappointed, but I'm not a confrontational person. I'm a inherent people pleaser, but I went downstairs today, I was very proud of myself, and asked them if they could come and check the room and if I can switch, and they upgraded me for free into a room that doesn't have the smell. And so very, very grateful for the hospitality of the hotel here. I'm gonna get packed and switch rooms.
So thankfully, the other room they gave me was so nice, and it was an upgrade from my previous room. There wasn't a smell, and so the quality of the room was just much, much better, and I am so appreciative to the staff here for helping me out.
Alright, so I am now thankfully leaving Bangkok. It was not my favorite. I'm ready to get out of this hotel. I woke up with 15 bug bites this morning. They have mosquitoes everywhere in here. I watched one bite me this morning, and so ready to get out of here and go to Chiang Mai. Let's go.
Now, while I am glad I went to Bangkok, the city life just really isn't for me. And so when I landed in Chiang Mai, I was so happy at the quality of the lodgings, at the area surrounding. It's a very natural city nested kind of in the mountains, and I just immediately fell in love. So after checking in, I immediately started exploring just a little bit because I got there about in the middle of the day, and the whole city was just so beautiful. There are temples, I swear, around every single corner, and there was a cafe called the Fern Forest Cafe that I was so excited to try, and so I went and had dinner there before I had a massage appointment, and this entire area is exactly what I needed after the chaos of Bangkok. I absolutely recommend attending any kind of food, brunch, anything at this cafe. It was so beautiful and peaceful, and I absolutely loved it. Now, after a really amazing dinner, I had an amazing spa appointment booked at Pha Lana Spa down in kind of downtown Chiang Mai. And so I had previously booked this ahead of time, and I kind of had a 3-parter. This place was so luxurious and beautiful. I got a full body massage, a lotion massage, and they did a milk bath with some essential oils and rose petals as well. This was such a peaceful and amazing and needed experience, and it was only about $80, which was incredible. I could not recommend it more. After my spa appointment, I walked back to my hotel and called it a night.
So Chiang Mai is so beautiful. I'm so excited. It's my second kind of day here, first full day in Chiang Mai. I was supposed to have a day tour to Chiang Rai to see some temples, but there is extreme flooding going on there, and I just didn't feel safe going on it with all the road closures and everything. It's gotten pretty bad, and so it was canceled. And so I'm just kind of taking a day of relaxing, which is so needed. My body is exhausted. I'm kind of feel like I'm getting sick, and so it's good to take it slower today and just enjoy the city. I'm excited. Let's go check it out.
So one of the ways I'm able to travel so much is a lot of my work is remote, and so I do research remotely, and so I spent a lot of time at this cafe just working, and then I didn't start to feel great, and so I actually went back and ended up napping for a lot of the day. But when I went back out, I looked at all of some temples at nighttime, and they also had this incredible night market, the Sunday night market, which I had no idea was happening. I kind of stumbled upon it, to be completely honest, but like I said, I really love markets, and so this was such a treat. There was food everywhere, souvenirs. I highly recommend doing this if you're in Chiang Mai.
All right, so it is my last morning here in Chiang Mai. I'm feeling a little bit better after being bedridden yesterday, but I'm gonna do a little bit of exploring after breakfast, then I'm flying out to Phuket. Let's go.
So after a very small and boring breakfast, I headed out and looked at a few other temples and places around Chiang Mai that I didn't get to see the previous day, and really just took it slow before I had my flight out to Phuket. Now, something kind of fascinating is there was one of these temples where women actually weren't allowed inside the building. They even had a guard there. They had signs everywhere basically explaining that since a woman has a period, she is deemed unclean. And so women were not allowed in this temple, which is just one of those cross-cultural interactions that are a little bit more difficult for me. But of course, you must honor them as a tourist. And I think it's a little bit fascinating. And after just a little bit of time exploring, I headed off to Phuket.
Alright, I'm all ready to go. Let's go to the elephant sanctuary.
So I landed pretty late at night the night before, and one of the first things that I did on my bucket list was visiting an elephant sanctuary, which I didn't have enough time in Chiang Mai to go to the infamous one, but the Phuket Elephant Sanctuary was absolutely wonderful as well, and it really strives to be an ethical experience for tourists to promote more ethical and sustainable practices surrounding elephants, provided that the tourist industry historically with elephants has been really traumatic and horrible, and they taught you a lot, and you got to view the elephants in their natural habitat. And this sanctuary actually only rescues or is able to rescue older and disabled elephants. And so some interesting information that they told us is that to rescue a male elephant is about $4 million, while rescuing female elephants are only $2 million, and that's due to the tusks as well as their reproductive practices for males. But the elephants were so beautiful. I cried so much and so hard the entire day, partially because this is just something that I've really wanted to do probably since I first started getting the itch to travel. And so it was just such a dream come true, and it's just so traumatizing to hear about the lives of these elephants, and I'm just so happy that they were able to be rescued by such an amazing association. Now, I did the morning tour for this excursion, which I highly recommend due to the fact that it rains a lot in the afternoon and it gets really toasty. They do provide you with clogs, which I really appreciated as well, but may bring water, stay hydrated because it gets really humid and hot there. So after an incredible morning with the elephants, I did head back home to my hotel, which was right next to the airport. And so it wasn't too bad of a drive. It was only about maybe 45 minutes of commuting round trip. And the hotel was beautiful, which I really appreciated. Ironically enough, as if Asia knew it was my last day on my trip, it was pouring rain. But eventually it did break enough for me to go down to the beach and enjoy some stormy beach weather, which I really enjoyed before I called it a night and got ready to come home.
Alright, so it is my last day here in Thailand, and I head back to the States tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed my time here in Asia these past 3 weeks, and Thailand was wonderful. So if you want more information, you can find photos, more logistics about my travels at my website, sarahmarietravel.com. And thank you so much again for all your support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Feel free to pop a question in the comments and be sure to subscribe for future videos. Thank you so much.